Hi everyone. I will be sharing my review of the book, The Little Book of Common Sense Investing: The Only Way to Guarantee Your Fair Share of the Stock Market by John C. Bogle. Obviously, the primary reason that led me to this book was that I am new to the idea of stock markets, and the term common sense just makes it ideal to pick up the book. But also, the author, John C. Bogle, who is an very eminent financial personality known in the United States as one of the four investment giants. He was the founder of the index fund. He was the CEO and founder of the Vanguard company. He passed away in 2019, but his legacy lives on through his tremendous contributions through books like this. And he is a major proponent of the index fund, of course. And through this book, he gives us his valuable insights into how the market works and what we can do to make sure we as investors make the most out of it. So the book is divided into 20 chapters, and each of the chapters is talking about a very singular focus point. The overall themes remain the same, but each of the chapter branches out into something specific. And my favorite part is at each chapter's end, there is a section that's called Don't Take My Word for It. And like I said, he's the founder of the index fund, and the book is talking primarily about why an index fund is better for you. And so he gives a disclaimer: don't take my word for it. And in all those sections, experts and industry leaders, people who are giants in the financial sector in the US, come and substantiate the arguments that Bogle has made in the preceding chapters. And I think that gives it a very solid grounding and makes it all the more better. It's a very witty and well written book. He begins with, of course, the debate between mutual funds and index funds, which remains the theme for most of the book, and why it is better to invest or hold a diversified portfolio that's low cost, or an index fund, as against investing in the mutual funds market. Because it is in the United States, the context, the examples that come up, the comparisons that come up, the data that holds the arguments that Bogle is making are derived from the American markets. But I feel like the arguments that come out of it, or the lessons that we learn out of it, should be applicable in all contexts. The book begins with a story called the Goat Rocks Parable, which he borrows from Warren Buffett. And it talks about a family that's doing well, has stocks evenly distributed, is earning good. And then suddenly a bunch of helpers who are financial advisors, intermediaries, come in and tell a couple of them that they could be earning more than they are right now. So they trade a few stocks, and the individuals earn more, but the overall earnings of the family reduce. And so they call in more helpers to help them figure out what could be wrong and what they can do better. And it shows how, over a period of time, we keep adding layers of costs and don't realize that the overall reduction in our returns is because of those costs. So we begin with a very central tenet and a central learning that financial costs are the all. And in order to increase your returns, you reduce your costs. He introduces us to the idea of investment return versus speculative return. Investment return is, of course, as the market performs and the returns you gain on your investment because of that. Speculative return is related to emotions, how emotions cause changes in the markets. And that is what the speculative return is. But as you can see in the graph, the speculative returns don't do much because the reversion to the mean applies. And that is something also that Bogle talks about later, and I'll come to it. An interesting metaphor that comes up is Occam's razor, which says avoid the complex, go for the simple. And he applies this to the idea of the stock market and says that there's no need for us to get into complex algorithms. There's no need to look at past performances or future projections, because honestly, it's very difficult to come up with those. It's really random at best. And therefore, the smartest thing that you can do, and the simplest thing at the same time that you can do, is have a diversified low cost portfolio that tracks the stock market, as it says here, and that you find in an index fund. The arithmetic part is very basic. It's simple math that he's talking about here, right? We may get attracted to uh, solutions in which there are more costs when the stock market returns have been high, when investments are being focused in the short term basis, but sometimes we may just not see the costs. And as a result of this, we incur costs. And as you can see the graph, the gap before and after costs is huge. And with compounding on the side, it's only much larger. And so with basic math, you can avoid the issues that come with investing in mutual funds. And again, the conclusion of each and everything he says is index fund, diversified, low cost portfolio. Because it's simple, if it's a pie, the more you are paying to your managers or to the financial management world, the lesser you as an investor are taking back as your earnings. Here we see on the left an index fund. The market return in both the index fund and the large cap fund are 79,200. Now, on the right side for each of them, 77 is the fund return, but 73 is what you get after costs in the index, and 55 is what you get after costs in the large cap fund, which already is a huge difference. But then when you apply the inflation adjusted rates, you see that 34,000 is what you're getting in an index fund, whereas for the average large cap fund, it is as low as 14,400 for a market that returned $79,200. So it goes on to show how stark the difference is in investing between an index fund and a mutual fund. He talks about how expenses and emotions are the greatest enemies of equity investment. One of the more simple things that came up were don't look for the needle in the haystack, because finding a mutual fund that will perform well over a long period of time is just like that. Because you see in this chart here, which I've taken from the book, between 1970 and 2016, only 2 funds emerged that continued to perform well. So the chances of you finding a stock that will perform well for so long is so low that it makes no sense for you to look for it. Instead of wasting time on that, you can just get the whole haystack. You can get an index fund that is a diversified index fund and take stock of the market. The reversion to the mean is again a very principled argument of how funds will have a tendency to return to the average or return to the mean. And so it doesn't make sense to get distracted or attracted to stars or sudden spurts of growth in stock prices, because those are short lived and the tendency is to eventually return to the mean. And here we talk about the main lessons that we learned. First one is that costs matter. When you are investing, costs can make or break your returns. Second, it does not make any sense to select or choose your equity funds based on their past performance, because you don't know how long the managers are going to be the same, what their strategy is going to be, if it's going to get acquired, if it will continue to perform. So there are lots of factors that are beyond your control, and it is random, so it makes no sense to select it based on past performance. And third, basic math, funds return to the mean, which is to say that to get swayed by the ebbs and flow of the stock market makes no sense. And to all of this, the solution that Bogle gives is of the index fund. Of course, I feel everyone has the right to have their skepticisms, because this is a very one track approach that we see in the book. But I feel like there are a lot of lessons to be gained, especially for somebody who's absolutely new to the field. And I think in that sense, I really enjoyed the book, and I would recommend it to people who are just starting to learn about investment and the market. And I will end with this. This is my learning and what I'm taking away from it, that the greatest enemy of a good plan is the dream of a perfect plan. Stick to the good plan. Don't try to supersede the market. Get something that's as good as it, and you will be good to go. I hope you try to read the book and enjoy it. Thank you.